When I walked out of the SAT, I was not too sure how I did. It was my second time taking it, and on my first attempt, I did well, but not up to what my goal was at the time. So to improve from that, I had to do really well this time, and I wasn't sure if I really met that goal. I felt I did kind of the same as last time, but for the math section, I felt like I had a chance of perfecting it because I answered all the questions. And reading was the one that I was most worried about. I felt like I went a little bit too slow on one of the passages, and I think I did well for the most part, but that one passage was kind of worrying me. And writing, I think I did well on the essay, and there's one grammar question I knew I missed, but I was still hopeful that maybe the rest of them went well. The days leading up to the SAT, I wasn't too anxious. It was on my mind constantly, but I was in India at the time, and it's summer because I took my SAT in June, so I had a lot of other activities to preoccupy me, which was nice. And finally the day came, and it was afternoon. It was about 2:30 in the afternoon in India, and 4:30 a.m. in Houston time when the scores were released. So I checked, and my grandpa was sleeping next to me, and I was just thrilled to find out that I had finally done it, and I was finally done with SAT. And I was more glad that finally, like all the hard work and hours I had put in had finally paid off. And my grandpa was the first person I told, and he was extremely proud of me. Then I called my dad and mom, and I logged in to Gmail, Facebook, and chatted with a few friends, find out how everyone else did, and then let a few people know also. And I was just relieved that I was done with SAT. I took Testmasters the summer before my junior year, and I felt it was really instrumental in me achieving the perfect score. First of all, for the reading section, they had a big word list online with 2,000 words, and I printed out that list and began studying it, and I felt like that list pretty much contained every single word that could appear on the SAT, and that really improved my reading score because I didn't miss any vocab, usually on the practice tests. And for the writing section, they had a nice book with all the rules listed out of what possible rules the SAT could test. And once you knew those specifics, you knew what to look for, and that really helped me a lot. And I used to be really worried about the essay before Testmasters, but after they showed us how easy it is with the format and the examples, how to go through it, I felt more confident about writing the essay also. And exam club was really useful. I went every weekend and would take practice tests in real life settings, and that was very instrumental in the success because I felt like practice is the best way to prepare for the SAT. So for students preparing for the SAT, my advice for the reading section would be, I know the reading section, the passage part, is the most difficult part of the SAT. No matter how much you practice, you can't make sure you're getting them all right. The questions, just sometimes it's hard to find a clear right answer. So I feel that the vocab part is what you can do to improve that section, and I feel that Testmasters has a really great list online called the Big Word List, and with 2,000 words, it pretty much has everything that can appear. So if you spend some time every day, starting in the summer before junior year, and study that list sincerely, and make context clues on how to remember those words, make connections, that section should really improve. And for math, I would just keep doing practices and try to avoid careless mistakes because that's the most difficult part about math. It's not overall too difficult, it's just making sure you don't make any stupid mistakes because in math, even if you miss one question, it costs a lot of points. And for writing, I would just go through all the rules they test, and anything you have a doubt about, any rule or sentence you see that doesn't make sense to you, I would go online and look it up. I looked up a lot of random rules online that really cleared some misconceptions I had before. And for the essay, make sure you practice under time situations and think of a few examples before going on the test day. And definitely do exam club. You have to practice for the SAT. Yeah, just go every weekend you can and make sure you know how much time you have. And I would also advise using a stopwatch. It's really helpful in keeping track of where you are in the section and how fast you should be pacing yourself. As of now, I'm still in the application process, and my dream school would be Stanford University. And I plan to major in either biomedical engineering or chemical engineering, but chemical with applications in like biotech and pharmaceutics. And I'm not sure whether I want to be a doctor as of yet, so I was gonna decide if I want to go to med school after doing my undergrad. And I feel like the SAT, getting a perfect score, really did help it's going to help for my applications, but it's still one factor, and I have to make sure I do everything else okay. And 10 years from now, I would want to see myself doing something in biology, something that I could help other people, help patients. And I'm into music, so I would want to see how I could bring in music into medicine and see how maybe I could use music therapy to help other people.